ladies and gentlemen, happy hump day.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Woo.
We are joined by our resident health expert. You know, as we expand as journalists, it's important to not only have, people out in the field at certain events and stuff like that we can't make it to, but also have, a health segment. We talk a lot about health on this podcast, usually like hard-hitting issues like what's worse for you, 2 Juuls or 2 beers, big topics that are affecting the youth.
Yeah.
And I think today we can take a quick minute and get to the bottom of some of our big questions.
The big one that just punched me hard just now is that oat milk is trash, apparently.
Okay, wait. Hold on, we'll get to that. Ilana, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Hey, everyone.
Can you just give us a quick rundown of what it is you do and what your job is and all that?
Yeah, so my name is Ilana Molstein, and I was basically morbidly obese as a kid. I was super overweight. I was sent to fat camp since I'm 8 years old. I had to go every single summer.
Where's a fat camp?
Upstate New York. Camp
Is your
Shane.
family big?
Oh, yeah. We totally have the big genes. Everyone's gotten smaller with time, thankfully, because they're doing my program. They have my mindset. They get the idea.
Yeah.
But we were all really big. We're obsessed with food as a family. Like if we were going to a wedding, it was all about who's catering. We got to get there early. We got to optimize the schmorg. Like everything revolved around food.
Optimize the schmorg.
I like that.
Like my dad's line our whole life was, "What's better than food, kids? Free food." Like we just love food. Classic like Jewish food.
Yeah.
So
I feel like Pete's really resonating with this.
So I was just so big, and then I would lose weight in camp, and I'd gain it all back. And I always loved clothes. I always loved fashion. I always wanted to be smaller, but I would just never get it together. And I was always sneaking or whatever it was. And finally, I was like, enough's enough. You've been literally dieting since you're 8 years old. I was 14. I was 215 pounds. I was only 5 feet, 2 inches tall. And I'm like, you're dropping this.
Wow.
You're done. It's over. Get it together. This is only you're doing this for. These are your ankles. They're your calves. It's your knees. You're not going to get this magic body tomorrow. So just take care of this one and figure it out.
Yeah.
So I love a lot of food. I'm a volume eater. So I just started realizing, well, what can I eat a lot of and still lose weight? How do I not have to give up pizza, but just maybe I could take tomato sauce and cheese and melt it all over broccoli, and that will help. And it did. So I became a registered dietitian because I knew if it was working for me. I ended up losing all this weight through high school and everything. And I wanted to help other people do it, but I wanted to make sure I had all the education and credibility. So I became a registered dietitian, which is super intense, and then got my master's degree in nutrition. I started teaching and lecturing at UCLA. I've been on staff there now 9 years, teaching weight loss seminars and public speaking for them. I'm on the board for the American Heart Association, and I wanted to scale it and get more people able to do my program because it was working so well for my high-paying private clients in Los Angeles. So I teamed up with Beachbody, who's the company behind P90X and Insanity, and thankfully they helped me take my system and program and give it to the masses. So now there's over 300,000 people doing my weight loss program across the country.
Nice.
Wow.
And UK, and I think we're in Mexico. So so it's called the 2B Mindset, and it's awesome. And now we're working on a book and continuity and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. That's a hell of an intro.
Yeah. Can I ask one quick question before we get into the questions we talked about?
I have one too.
So genetics versus
Great question.
intake.
Yeah. So
what's the breakdown?
I have literally the fattest genetics. And
you have fat DNA.
I have the total fat gene.
Which for everyone listening and not watching, she looks incredible.
Thank you.
You never guessed that she was a 400-pound 14-year-old.
as an excuse.
No, it's
often,
a total
right?
excuse, and I used it as an excuse. And but I also realized, so what happened is that my parents were big. We all just said we have the fat gene, whatever this is. But I was still losing 30 pounds every summer. How could I lose 30 pounds every summer if I had this crazy gene saying I couldn't? And honestly, everyone out there listening who thinks you can't lose weight, you can lose weight. There's not one person who can't. Your ankles, your knees, your liver, your heart. If you have weight to lose, your body wants to do it, but you have to get yourself there. You have to. But if you believe you can't lose weight, you don't, because then it's I might as well finish all the bread at the table because I'm the fat one, or I might as well finish fries because I'm not
So is it
losing weight
more
anyway.
the story you tell yourself about food?
That's why my program is called the mindset, the 2B mindset, because I had a test group with over 100, it was 100 people or so Beachbody gave me to see how I work with them to figure out what it is I do.
Yeah.
And we didn't have a title for the program, and they kept saying, I don't know what she's telling me. She's not saying I can have a donut, but for some reason I just don't want one anymore. And I don't know. A lot of people say I brainwash them. I'm in their heads, whatever it is.
That's good.
And the one thing I think
like big people embrace being the big person.
It's hard.
So they
it's identity.
feel like they need to eat a lot. They need to like, oh yeah, you're gonna finish that third bowl of pasta.
Right.
Right.
It's, by the way, that's like the hardest piece is even the few women I worked with today who only have like 5 pounds to lose. Cause like I was saying, my private practice, it's a little more vanity than health sometimes, but whatever. It's all in good health. When you feel good and you eat good, it's all good. But, you know, a lot of these women, they still feel like they like the gummy bears at night. But when you work with me long enough, like you really start to realize you don't. Like in the end, you're just annoyed and regretful. And that means that you're not even tasting them and enjoying them. So like people kind of hate working with me privately because you have to really face your shit.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I hate food.
Here's my one pre-question. Did we meet you because you were a listener of the podcast?
Yes.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
So we did an episode where we were talking about your guy's father having some heart issues, and you reached out about that, right?
Yeah,
And said, hey, I can help out with it. That's amazing. So now you're like, you drop off snacks, you give us little health tips, you text us throughout the week. This is great. But this all came from you just listening to group chat.
I love you guys. I mean, I have no patience for like the news and stuff. So you guys make me feel like I'm, with it.
Yeah, we got
That is
you. We got
amazing.
you covered. Okay, are we ready to get into the hard-hitting issues?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, first things first, right to the point. We had a debate, which had no ending, about which is worse for you. 2 hits of a Juul or 2 beers?
It's so interesting. Is it really, you know what, honestly, for your listeners, it could also be food. Or is it like, you know, a thing of like Postmating a pizza?
No, because
just
we want to
beer
know.
and Juul.
This is where the debate started because we were saying that Juuls are bad, but how bad are they really? And how, like, we're banning Juuls, but we don't talk about alcohol.
Right.
So we narrowed that debate all the way down to you can go buy alcohol. Everyone loves alcohol, but Juuls we're like talking about banning.
I think everything comes down to habit forming. And with beers, it's going to be hard to have 2 beers. Like you really can't necessarily get to 2 beers before, let's say like noon, the earliest, right? Like with lunch versus Juul, if that's a habit and that's in your hand, that's going to start at 8 a.m. on your way to work.
It's a great point.
That's right when you roll out of bed.
Yeah, you can't have 2 beers an hour at work. You can have 2
I know,
Juuls
but
an
let's
hour
take
at work.
all that out of it and just say,
Well,
don't
health
you
to
think
health, it's
alcohol,
all of it's a cumulative effect.
Yeah.
So I really think it comes down to habit, like because everything is fine in moderation. So it also, it also depends on what they do for you. So if a hit of a Juul helps you take a deep breath, so then you maybe relax more, and that helps you not stress eat later on or do something else destructive, it might not be that bad. If beer itself might not be that bad, but if that gets you now drunk and now you're having like the drunchies and now you're not answering your emails at work, it's turning you lazy, you're not having goals or whatever it is. I think it all kind of depends on the person, the habits around it.
Okay, let me give you another scenario. I came to you right now and I said, look, there's nothing you can do about this other than choose one for me. I'm either going to form a habit today for the next 10 years of 6 beers a day or 1 full Juul pod.
6 that's not the same comparison.
2 beers a day?
4 beers a day. A full Juul pod. So I'm smoking a Juul like for
beer
real.
Beer has probiotics, like it's actually fermented. And
Which one?
But you have to know that beer is liquid bread. So if you're having beer, then you probably don't also need like buns and stuff like that. So I'd say if you're having 4 beers a day, but you're making substitutions in other areas of your diet and you're having like higher quality beers and stuff like that, it could work. Oh God, that's the actual alcohol in a beer is not a lot.
Yeah. It's low in alcohol.
I just think the creepy thing about Juuls, we don't know what's in it. That's
so
what
it's
freaks
more
me out
the
with Juul.
calories. You're saying the empty calories with the beer?
Yeah.
And the Juul has nicotine, which has...
Well, it's hard to know what's in a Juul, right? Like, we don't really know what the vapor is doing. We don't know if it's actually like coating our lungs or it's fine for our lungs. So I think the creepy thing about the Juul is we don't know the long-term effects, which is the beer. I'm saying like there are actually probiotics. There's actually water in it, so it's kind of hydrating.
Okay.
4 beers a day.
Pete, bring some beer! What are we doing here with no beer?
Okay, so the point about the Juuls is just don't take the risk. Because who knows?
I just think the problem with Juul is I just see like once you start juuling, you don't stop juuling.
Yeah.
It's very habit forming.
Yeah, and I don't think the jeweler's doing 1 Juul pod a day. It's all day.
Yeah, but 1 Juul pod a day is like a pack of cigarettes. That's like kind of if you're a full-on Juul smoker, you smoke 1 pod
Yeah,
a day.
but I feel like smoking cigarettes, like you guys were saying on the pod, is kind of better because you can't do it indoors, so you're like limited there. You can't do it on an airplane. Like people are for sure sneaking Juuls in an airplane bathroom.
Oh,
yeah.
For sure. I've done it. I've done it multiple times.
Yeah.
TikTok challenge?
Yeah. I just think it always sucks to feel like you're so heavily dependent on things.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
you guys were talking about Yom Kippur at some point. The hardest part about Yom Kippur is like you don't realize how many vices you have.
Yeah. Because you can't vape. You can't.
Yeah, or morning coffee. Like
Yeah.
Okay, we got to move on. Let's move on to the next big hard-hitting topic, milk.
Milk.
So we talked about milk. We talked about milk sales declining. One of the biggest milk distributors just went bankrupt. We talked about all these different forms of milk, oat milk in particular. That's what Dee started us off with. He's devastated to learn that oat milk is a joke.
Well, you guys got me on one line I really didn't like. I think I like messaged you right away. Like I just was texting. I probably had a red light, unfortunately. But it was something like, well, we all know milk is so bad for us. I hated that you guys said that.
Yeah.
Oh man, it bothered me so much because the second that kids stopped drinking as much milk in America, our pediatric obesity rates skyrocketed. And while if we tell kids not to drink milk, unfortunately what you see, it doesn't get replaced with water. It goes right to soda. Yeah. And soda and sugar sweetened beverages are literally like the bane of our existence. Like that's the
Yeah,
worst
but that's not like, I'm not worried about my kid. I mean, in my bubble, soda ain't allowed.
Soda's not, but juice, apple juice, orange juice.
He's never had a sip of juice.
Yeah, well, God bless you guys.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like
That's bubble though. That's super bubble parenting.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Thank
I'm not
goodness.
parenting America. I'm parenting one person right now.
Hey, we're
you
trying
got
to talk
healthy
to we're
little-
trying to talk to America right
a
now.
cup of milk, like for kids after dinner, before bed, like to have a cup of milk, a glass of milk before going to bed, like that's not a.
So let me ask you a
Yeah.
different way. Do we need to drink milk?
Organic. First, I do like organic when it comes to dairy. So I just want to say.
So what
that
does
off the
that
bat.
mean? Like grass-fed?
Yeah, well, the problem is if it's non-organic fed milk, then they pump you with all these hormones and antibiotics and things to make sure that you're making even more milk. And then apparently, they even say like there's more blood in the milk.
I don't know. Pete's twice my size. Maybe
And
I
you
should have been
drink-
drinking
That's all
whatever milk.
milk.
By the way,
Pete's all white supremacy. He's 100% white
Milk,
supremacy.
honestly, milk I think is a healthy habit. It's filling, it's satisfying. For kids, it's high in potassium, which is good because none of us eat enough fruits and vegetables that have potassium in it. I think everyone who started the anti-milk and the whole stigma with milk, like all the shaming and stigma, I hate that, like food shame that's created. It's honestly just a way to make money.
Yeah.
Everyone's just trying to make money.
It was the same thing when milk did when they said you have to drink a gallon of milk
Same
a day.
situation.
And it was
Like-
the anti-egg
Like, why do I
movement.
need all this calcium? Why do I need all this protein? I don't think you need all this shit. You don't need that much.
I think of the milk thing is more for kids. I think it's totally fine for kids to have a cup of like whole milk like after dinner before
Yeah.
going to sleep. If they don't have that, then and they're asking for something, parents are usually going to give them some candy, a cookie, something else instead. Even if it's organic and gluten-free and all this stuff, it probably isn't as hydrating, doesn't have as much protein or potassium as just a glass of milk.
Speaking of bubble habits from our own podcast, do you used to drink a tall glass of milk and 6 Oreo cookies every night?
Every night.
That's not even bubble. That's the most
America.
mainstream America thing you've ever done.
I was saying, this guy's talking about Dom ain't drinking anything.
I have an interesting.
Oh, yeah, you have mainstream America genetics.
In my blood, I'm
Yeah,
trying to change
you've
that
passed
for
it
my
on. Yes,
genetics.
agreed.
Can I just tell you about Oreo cookies, by the
Yeah.
way? Do you guys know that Oreo cookies are the #1 best-selling cookie of all time forever? Like far exceeds Chips Ahoy and even and Girl Scout and even other kinds of Oreos, like even the Thin Mints and all that
Good
stuff.
cookie.
Yeah, Dee was
Because
a
no,
big
it's
part of that.
actually the perfect balance of sugar, salt, and fat. Anything with the perfect balance of sugar, salt, and fat can be addictive. So they've engineered the cookie to actually be salty if you lick
Yeah,
it.
it's
and then
amazing.
the creamy center is the perfect balance of sugar and fat. And so you, like when people eat them one row at a time.
Yeah.
Dee's sneaking by Ralph's
Yeah.
and picking up some
For
Oreos.
sure. Doing
I
just
haven't
like
had an
going to
Oreo
his own
probably in
vices.
15 years.
Don't start. It's one of those things. Like it's like once you pop, you can't stop. Don't have a Pringle.
I think
That's like me
I
smoking a
think Dee could
cigarette.
do an Oreo TikTok challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
If you
sure.
do 6 Oreos in a glass and we'll drink it every night.
Yeah,
I
you used to
can't
mash
even-
it up and make cookies and cream
I can't
smoothies.
eat anything I ate as a child. Everything disgusts me.
Oh, good. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's how I feel, which helped so much with my weight loss. It's like
Yeah.
I used to eat all this stuff, and now if I see it, I like kind of give it a dirty look. Like it doesn't tempt me anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you this. Of all, because I want to make sure we keep the pace because I have 2 more questions. Of all of the, I'll call them fake milks.
Yeah.
Almond milk, oat milk, blah, blah, blah milk. Which one's the right one?
I like unsweetened almond milk.
Okay.
If you're calorie conscious or carb conscious, it's definitely a great bang for your buck. The cashew milk, also the unsweetened cashew milk, 25 to 40 calories per cup, unsweetened, and it definitely makes the
Unsweetened
coffee
almonds,
creamy.
phenomenal.
It's great.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this whole oat thing became because of the environment, because almond milk we saw was just taking
Draining
so much
water,
resources.
yeah.
So, I mean, I feel bad about that for sure. I
Yeah.
definitely do. But you could balance it out by having more plant-based meals, I guess. Yeah.
So oat milk in your eyes is like, it's literally a carbohydrate that's
these
just
things are
blended.
trends. Yeah. Everything is a trend. Like I've been in the industry, like I consider myself young, and yet I've lived and worked through so many fads already. I can't believe it. I mean, even paleo, that seems so long ago. Like keto has totally bumped, like, just bulldozered over that. Paleo was only like a year and a half ago. Every cookbook.
And nobody's doing paleo.
You guys want to know the biggest financial scam around nutrition is certifications.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like,
What's that?
I was working for a company, I won't say which one, and they were like, oh, don't worry, we just got paleo certified. I'm like, what does that entail? And they're like, you won't believe it. It's this like troll in his basement.
Yeah.
And he just bought the domain, like paleo certified, created this graphic of a pea in a circle or something, and is selling it for thousands of dollars to bars, to pastas, to all this.
I'm going to do
Wow,
bubble
that's a good
certified.
Sounds like the financial services
You should do
industry.
Bubble certified. This is a approved product in the bubble.
I was at a CVS this week, and there's like paleo sections, there's keto sections.
It's such a scam.
I hadn't been to
Yeah.
CVS in ages.
And that all the shame around dairy just buys more.
How long do you think keto lasts?
Oh, it's, I mean,
A
just
year?
just as long as paleo. So it like I think it's definitely peaking now. Like the early adopters have like almost ended it. Now it's peaking. By the summer, people will already be gaining it back. Definitely by next winter, we won't be talking about
No
Yeah.
chance, right?
it.
Yeah.
It'll be something else. Hopefully it's my program. Hopefully it's a 2B mindset, which is sustainable.
Well, we
Yeah.
can certify you for $1,500.
Bubble certification.
Just letting you know.
1,500.
And to me with a thumbs up like this.
Yeah. Yeah. With a B, with a big B. Okay, next one. This is a big one. We earlier this week were gifted some incredible CBD tea by this company called Kira.
Can I see it? Can I see it?
Yes.
I love
And
products.
Oh, sorry.
and we were talking about how, which that tea's great, tastes great, amazing. We were talking about how like
low in sugar and calories.
CBD mainly is like in everything now. And there's all the weed talk. So I just want your opinion on like THC products, CBD products. Is the CBD thing being overdone?
I think a lot of it's placebo effect, but it's funny. I'll admit it. My doctor in Beverly Hills was selling CBD pens. I couldn't believe it. Like an
Pens?
actual
Like vape
doctor. She's a
pens?
Cedars-Sinai doctor, and she was selling CBD pens. And I'm like,
Like
oh
a general practitioner.
I'm like, I could post this on Instagram and talk about it because it was literally like a top doctor. And she said that she's seeing that the CBD pens are helping people get off cigarettes. So that's
Okay, that's
something.
good.
This is probably before all the vaping drama took place, but she was totally fine with it. There are definitely benefits of CBD. The problem is like how, like this says 25 milligrams. Do we even know if that's an effective dose? So I think a lot of it is placebo effect.
Yeah.
But the truth is I was smoking this CBD pen. And I'm like telling my husband, Noah, I'm like, I don't feel anything. And I kept going, and I just passed out.
Yeah, that's kind of how it works.
Look, I think from people that I know in cannabis who are like, I would consider them experts, what they have told me that in the right concentration and the right way used, CBD is effective. The problem is, like everything, CBD is such a thing that all these other kind of jokers have come out and just chucking whatever in there, calling it CBD.
Yeah, I just think dosing is like even with probiotics, you'll see
Yeah.
like 10 billion
Yeah.
strains. None of that's regulated. A lot of them are killed in just the processing of putting in the bottle.
Yeah. I remember we were at Whole Foods once and we were buying probiotics. Probiotics at Whole Foods are so expensive.
Yeah.
And this was literally a 10 billion. And it was like $90 for one bottle. I'm like, do we really need 10 billion? I think 1 billion should do the trick.
Well, you know what's interesting?
Save us some money.
Yeah.
We have trillions of these bacteria in our gut. So even 10 billion is a drop in the bucket. So it's really about taking them constantly.
So I need to take 10 billion pills.
You got to eat a bottle a day.
You know, the other thing I heard from a doctor is that with CBD and THC products, because they're not really regulated properly yet, that there's not a consistency in formula at scale. So you'll have one batch that actually has what you think you're getting, and the next batch, you know, it's not clear if it has the full potency or maybe it has too much potency. And that's the biggest problem that needs to be solved in terms of at scale. How do we make sure that, you know, when you buy an Advil, every Advil is like 99.9% chance the same concentration of whatever the active ingredient is.
Yep.
That's not the case right now in CBD and THC.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
The creams work though. The CBD creams for people with joint pain or arthritis.
What's that,
they swear by it.
anti-inflammatory? What's it do?
Yeah, I mean, it's really just relieving pain.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
Which is
As a
unbelievable.
full functioning 32-year-old healthy man who does not smoke weed recreationally, doesn't really use CBD, how should I be thinking about it? Where should I apply it to my life? Anywhere? Can it be helpful for sure anywhere?
I'd say a lot of 32-year-olds also, it's like so hard to stop scrolling at night and thinking that you should be overworking, and so many people are not sleeping. I think one of the big like underbelly aspects of our obesity crisis is that people aren't sleeping as much. And it's actually very interesting, like causation versus whatever. Like it's not an exact science, but it is about similar numbers. Like about 35% of Americans sleep less than 7 hours a night at this stage.
Ooh, that's miserable.
And about 35% of Americans are obese. So 67% are either overweight or obese. So like literally the majority.
What
of
about
Americans.
for him? He has erectile dysfunction. So is there a way that he can inject cannabis into that?
Well,
You haven't specified who him is, right?
Well, okay, 2 out of the 3 people on this pod seem to have erectile dysfunction.
I think a lot of issues come down
This
to
is an
stress.
ad for Roman.
This pod is brought to you by...
Is Roman's erectile? I thought it was hair.
They got everything.
I think stress is the biggest like culprit that drives people to Juul, that drives people to drink beer, that drives people to not sleep, that drives people to eat, and all these vices. So if CBD in something like a tea, a jasmine tea that also has other health benefits, like green tea has a lot of other health benefits to it, and tea itself has been clinically proven to reduce stress, then maybe it's making you more relaxed, it's getting you more sleep. I think it's totally fine. I'm on the CBD bandwagon if it's helping people. I don't take it away from my clients at all if they're already doing that.
Great. Okay, here's the last one. I hate to do this to you because I feel like this is kind of, you probably get this a lot. We have a pretty young audience. Everyone's trying to, start a business, be better, be a better version of themselves.
Good.
Any no-brainer tip that you can give everyone and say, hey, stop doing this, start doing that, think about this differently. What can we leave them with?
Totally. So my trademark actually, I actually trademarked I coined my phrase, water first, veggies most. The 4 words that are going to save us all. Yep. Water first, veggies most. Always drink water first before you eat. Every single time you think you're starving, you need breakfast, you need lunch, you need that snack, always drink water first. Preferably 16 ounces of water within 30 minutes of eating. It will calm you down. We need way more water than we need food. None of us are getting enough water. Always drink water first. Okay, so everyone just start that today, start that to dinner, start your next meal, start with water first. The whole day today, every time you're reaching for food, have water first. And the next is veggies most, which I'm sure a lot of people listening are like, hate veggies, not doing that, I'll do the water. If you're not veggies most, which is fine for now, just veggies more, veggies some, don't pull the lettuce and tomato out of the burger. Like that could be like your one opportunity to get in some veggies at that meal and offset some of that meat in terms of potassium and antioxidants that meat doesn't have. So you don't have to like take out meat entirely or do anything so extreme or become keto or paleo, but definitely try cauliflower rice.
What about mushrooms? They seem useless.
I love mushrooms.
I
oh
love
my God, they're so
mushrooms
not
too.
useless.
I think mushrooms are really good.
Yeah.
They're
It's
so
a fungus.
meaty.
Why do I need a fungus
Yeah, you
in
need
me?
bacteria
You
in
know
your body.
how many probiotics
so
I
much
gotta
fungus
take
in
with
you.
all that fungus?
Mushrooms are such an underrated vegetable. Like mushrooms and eggplant, they're like meaty and they're hearty.
I hate eggplant.
I love mushrooms. I hate eggplant.
Really? You guys hate eggplant?
I
And
can't stand it.
your mom doesn't cook with any eggplant? Like
She
you never-
knows. She
better
knows
not
not to.
to.
She knows better.
Oh my gosh, they're such good, like delicious, like
You little bastards.
there's so many traditional.
We're spoiled
Indian-
brats. What
She knows better than to do that stuff.
I am so surprised. There's so many
disgusting.
delicious like Indian dishes. I feel like
They do. I know. We just don't
That's
eat
not
those.
us.
Okay. Well, listen, water first, veggies
What
most,
veggies
guys.
do you like? Cucumbers.
I love
peppers?
broccoli.
Great.
Broccoli,
I love
love
mushrooms,
kale,
asparagus, kale. I like
Brussels sprouts.
Own it. Love it.
Yeah.
Love
Cauliflower.
But when you go to restaurants, like go look at the sides, all those veggie sides, like order them for the
Onion
table.
rings.
Mm.
That's a vegetable.
Awesome Blossom from Chile.
That's true. Yep. Okay. Well, we did it. Water first, veggies most.
Thank you.
Thank
like
you
that.
so much for the tips and clearing this up. And make sure that you, I really appreciate that you hold us accountable, not only when we speak out about health things or stuff in our families, you reach out, but, if we're telling straight up fake news, let us know and we'll clarify it.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
All right. All right, who's ready for some news?
I like beer.
I like beer. You like beer?
You like beer?
It's just so good to find out that beer is healthy.
I wish I enjoyed beer.
Kavanaugh was on to something.
Yeah, I don't like beer. I just feel like everyone's so sketched out about those Juuls, man.
Yeah.
People are going to start really dropping dead, I think.
California sued Juul today.
Saw that. Okay. Well, guess who's not worried about getting sued or anything financial for that matter at all?
Forever.
Kylie Jenner.
Yeah.
She did it.
She did it.
Kylie Jenner sold 51% of her cosmetics business for $600 million. Now, I got to say, it was this huge story. She was on the cover of Forbes like 6 months ago or whatever. Kylie Jenner's a billionaire. I kind of thought maybe being a little bit of a hater. Like, you're just placing some value on her business.
Yeah.
It's not anything until you actually sell it.
Yeah.
Well, now she has. And not only that, but it's worth $1.2 billion.
Yeah.
So it's real. And she's excited. Kris Jenner's excited. Everyone's celebrating. They did it, man. I can't hate on this
Yeah, so
one.
they sold 51% to Coty, which is like the largest fragrance company in the world, I believe.
Yep.
And I think they are in the cosmetics business in different facets, but it's a big purchase for them. Gets them. It probably means that Kylie's going to launch fragrance as well.
Yep.
I mean, why not? Enter it all. They're going to be able to 10x sales so quickly because they have like the most insane retail distribution already.
Yep.
You're talking every department store in the world, every mom and pop. It's just going to be everywhere.
Yep.
So I actually think $600 million for this brand, 51%. It's going to probably end up being cheap in like 5 years. I was under the impression that Kylie Jenner's cosmetics line was a joint venture with ColourPop. I don't know if that had expired and
Yeah, who knows if it was a license and she always owned the IP.
yeah. So
If so, that's insane.
yeah. So then I'm curious to see, did ColourPop participate in this in any way? We don't know all the details yet. But this is big. This is a big number. And she's 21.
I think 22 now.
Okay, whatever. 22. And she, she's going to have more children. She's going to be with someone probably equally as...
Drake. Pop out 2 with Drake.
2 with Drake.
Have 3 with some other guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever. You can literally have 17 kids now.
I mean, if I had endless money, I'd have 17 kids.
So
Yeah, with
the
all
number
the top like athletes and artists, and you just have this museum of children, of bloodline.
So the number in revenue that was rumored, because obviously it's a private company, none of us know.
Yep.
End of 2018, 360 million.
Yeah, which is nuts.
I'd assume it's higher in 2019.
Yeah.
It sounds like a cheap deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gosh, I mean, and talk about like we talk all this shit about these like non-profitable money-raising company.
Yeah.
This is pure cash. That thing is just shitting
And
cash.
it's only a handful of people that work at Kylie Cosmetics because it's like a marketing arm. They outsource everything else.
Yeah. Oh, we saw the office tour. It was empty.
Yeah, there's nobody there.
All you got out of it was rise and shine.
What do you need a marketing arm? It's
Her
hey
and her
guys,
Instagram page.
It should
today
actually
is
be
Wednesday. We have Wednesday.
I think it should be an eye opener to all the other DTC brands.
Yep.
Like this was doing, call it 400 million conservatively if they did 360 last year, and they sold at a valuation of 1.2 billion,
And they were profitable.
and they're profitable.
And I would argue this should be an eye-opener to literally every brand in the world. Because like, even though you're talking about, yes, you're talking about Kylie Jenner, the top of the top. Still, this girl made a Shopify business promoted off of Instagram. And she did it. She crossed the finish line and made it real.
Yeah.
And did this big deal. Now it will be everywhere. It's going to be the biggest cosmetics thing that we're going to see for the next foreseeable future.
Yeah.
And it was literally a girl, her Instagram page, and Shopify.
And unlike everything we see in venture capital that we can't really wrap our heads around because we're like, who's paying what for this?
Yeah.
This is a deal where everyone's going to make money on a go-forward basis.
Yeah.
So it might be, it sounds undervalued for
Yeah.
what she's built in such a small amount of time, but she still owns 49% of the company and is going to be able to participate in Coty's ability to, their infrastructure to grow it to God knows
Yeah,
what.
if it's a $5 billion company.
Yeah, then it was a good deal for everyone.
Imagine if she makes like $2 more billion in like 3 years.
Probably will. This, by the way, she's only entered one small segment of beauty. She has to still fragrance.
She's a billionaire before Zuck was. I think Zuck was 23.
You know who's got to be pissed? Kanye. Because he walks around claiming billionaire real hard.
That's why he went full church. That was his only chance to compete.
Yeah.
I mean, she just shat on him.
Kylie is king.
Kylie is king.
I
That should be
wonder,
your
what do you
next
think the
album.
family dynamics are? Because Kim was the queen.
Yeah, Kim.
Jealousy.
No, there has to be jealousy.
Lots
there
of
has to be real
jealousy.
jealousy. Because
Like,
you know,
imagine if you're Chloe and Courtney.
I mean, I mean, not to be insensitive, but the race was over for them a while ago.
but do you
right?
think Kendall? Like Kendall was the supermodel.
That's true.
She was angled to be the
The
star.
big one. Yeah.
And then that like whole body type trended out.
yeah, I don't even, like,
not
what
even-
happened to her?
it's
No one
It's not
cares.
cool to be skinny anymore. Man, she really, like, when you look at the perfect storm of all the Kardashian stuff, and who knows, decades from now it might be Stormy, but like the true beneficiary of all of it was Kylie.
Yeah.
She just came up at the perfect time through the storm, had this cool factor.
She is the peak of this whole, our era.
Yeah.
So let's assume Chris and Kylie were the economic beneficiaries of this payday.
Yep.
Yeah.
How does it trickle down, or does it not?
Does not.
So if they're able to keep it alive to the next generation of the
No. I'm
kids-
saying right now there's a $600 million payday.
Okay, so
Does
this
Kendall get like 20?
No. She got nothing.
What, from that?
No, meaning like, hey, the family made money. We're all a team.
No,
Oh,
we are.
fuck no. Hell no. They might gift her like a Lambo. You know?
Maybe
it.
everyone in the family gets a,
She gets a
ghost.
Kylie Cosmetics painted Rolls Royce for her
Yeah, he's
birthday.
like, here you go, bitches.
Don't
Here's
forget to
something
post
for you."
this.
So it's not like Kendall gets a $20 million home in Bel Air.
Hell
Why?
no.
No, I'm just saying it's a family.
This is
No
all
way.
on the backs of Kylie.
I don't think that family operates like that.
No.
I think they expect you to post each other's wins,
Yeah.
and you're not getting. You eat what you what is it?
You eat what you kill.
Yeah, that's what
And
you
let
get
me
in
tell
that
you what's going
family.
to happen. There's going to be a Kardashian episode where the jealousy will be aired.
Yeah,
Like, the whole family will be there. Kylie won't be
Yeah.
there because she's a billionaire. She's not going to hang out with them anymore.
fuck no, those broke peasants.
Yeah, and they're going to be like, can you believe Kylie, she went off with...
Name
Name.
insert Grammy Award winning.
Or insert
No,
billionaires.
billionaire.
Yeah. Oh, that's her new homies. You're saying?
Like Roman Abramovich.
no
or
way.
something
Her
like
homies
it.
are like she's like on a yacht with like Stassi baby and Tyga and like
No, I think she's gonna like she'll bring a few of them on the road, but she's going
Wow.
to like sultans and queens.
Sure, she
Princes.
can.
so.
I mean,
I
the
hope so.
world's her oyster. She has a win that almost no entrepreneur will ever have.
and
She's-
Kim got fake robbed and she couldn't even.
Yeah, she's gonna have
Pay off.
she's gonna have a 100-foot yacht in the south of France.
Imagine like
Sure.
Chloe having to call Kylie to make sure it's okay if like she brings her new boyfriend on the
Can
yacht.
I bring a +1 on the boat?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
Okay.
And you have to ask your 22-year-old stepsister.
yeah. Stepsister. Not
That's
even your
right.
full sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't listen. You can hate on the family. You can do whatever you want. This one you got to give props to. I
Yeah.
think it's
She's a
too
king.
big.
No, you can't.
She.
You
Yeah.
can't hate.
Okay. Let's move on. It looks like, in a complete change of gears, we have some action in this Jeffrey Epstein thing.
Yeah.
So I woke up this morning, checked my little news alerts, and the whole page was that his prison guards who were supposed to be watching him while he quote unquote committed suicide have been indicted for their lack of responsibility.
Yeah, looks like I'm surprised there's further investigations, but it looks like the FBI is coming after the guards, saying that they obviously lapsed in judgment and there's something else going on here.
Yep.
And there seems to be some form of investigation. I don't know if they're just playing to the press and acting like they're actually doing something,
Yep.
or we're actually going to get somewhere and get information.
I think this is like a Kaepernick tryout.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
You know
is
what I
the
mean?
dog and
Appease
pony
the-
Yeah.
to make everyone think that, hey, we're going to make sure that there was no foul play.
I was thinking, unfortunately, there's some implication to Donald Trump, but if Donald Trump said, let's go full blown, let's expose everybody, I'm going to drain the swamp.
He would expose himself.
Yeah, that's the problem. In this particular case, if he let's say didn't do anything, his comrades definitely did.
Yep. Big time. There's no way he could
Yeah.
do it. But like I feel like I would say like the Elizabeth Warrens of the world should say, this is ridiculous. Look at this elite thing happening, but she probably is tied in somehow.
Yeah, everyone's tied in.
It's so tied in, or
if
one of her
you're
donors or
old,
somebody.
If you're old and have any money, you're tied in.
Yeah, AOC is fresh on the scene. She's not tied in.
No.
Is she talking about it?
No, but I'm saying she could use this as a talking point. Get off the
that's
Taylor Swift
ridiculous.
fake Carlisle news.
But she has no
Go talk about Epstein.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big one. I'm surprised no one's taken that.
Because I think they're getting phone calls from higher ups and
Saying shut up and
shut up and
talk about Taylor Swift.
shut up and vote
Yeah,
or whatever it
yeah.
is for politicians.
Yeah. Okay. Well, listen, I don't like you said. I don't know if this is good news or bad news. We got some information, but I do think this is at
They're just
the-
feeding press.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
looking
it's
into it.
just like a
gonna cost
fake
us.
flag.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, I want to talk about the world's greatest social media app, TikTok. You guys may have heard of it. I
Yes.
notice you still, D, you're not really going hard on it. You don't even have an account.
I did, and I deleted my account.
Okay.
So
However,
I'm not subject to.
Chinese discipline.
watch. Okay, well, Pete, luckily, has taken over for the group chat TikTok, which is what? Group chat pod?
Group chat news.
Okay, group chat news. And he's been throwing cheese at everyone
Yeah, he got me.
this whole week. So, I mean, we're off to a slow start, but
Yeah.
we're hoping it.
You don't have a mic, just so you know.
Yeah, you don't have a mic, Pete. Pete
But thank you.
Pete keeps remembering the glory days when he had a mic. Anyway, Pete had a good one today about him being an idiot.
Yeah.
Anyway, not the news story. The news story is that as the app continues to blow up, especially in the United States, a lot of the go-to criticism is their ties with China. So it looks like they might be looking at ways to try to distance themselves from China. This seems impossible to me.
Yeah.
Seems like China would never let this happen. No way. But do you think there's anything real to it?
I think they can save face enough because they're going to need to monetize ByteDance soon, the company that owns them. $75 billion privately valued company. They're going to want to go public soon. This TikTok mania, they can go out. Everyone can make a lot of money. It may be worth, like the discussion in the article says, they may set up a headquarters in Singapore, set up somewhere else in Asia, maybe set up like, a wholly owned subsidiary that owns it in America. Some way for purposes of government scrutiny, enough where people are like, okay, whatever, you guys are distant.
I mean, this is more dog and pony than the Epstein segment we just talked about.
We like dog and pony shows.
This is I
We
mean,
should have called this the Dog and Pony Show.
there's employees saying, yeah, we can pretend we have a headquarters in Singapore, but guess what? We're owned by a Chinese company.
Yeah, because there's
doesn't
no
matter
way
what-
you're not
no.
getting.
I know, but regulators that might appease
Are
them.
regulators that dumb?
No,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
it's enough.
I'd
No,
like
it's
to
not
say
even that. It's the regulators.
It's enough to turn a blind eye, is what you're
Yes.
saying?
The regulators turn blind eyes all day. They're blind whenever they want to be.
I don't think they have eyes that see really much at all.
I mean, if they think it's going to work and people are that stupid, then go for it.
I think people are that stupid. I think they should go for it. I think it could work. I think a
definitely
little
could work.
little bit of a shimmy, a little bit of a rebrand.
Oh, we're headquartered in Singapore. We have nothing to
They
do with
should
China.
call it TikTok America.
TikTok A. TikTok USA.
TikTok KKK.
Just open a. Jeez, that's what pizza's called. Open up an office in Venice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just start buying the Snapchat buildings
Culver
and
City,
making
yeah.
them TikTok.
Kombucha.
Yeah. Okay. Well, whatever. Think about it. I think it'll work. I am very big on all things TikTok.
Okay.
Next up, let's talk about Kanye West. You want to know what I noticed about Kanye West?
Do tell.
Tell me if this is just my experience or if I'm accurate. None of the clips or sound bites from his Joel Osteen thing were on my feed. It seems like the press didn't pick them up, and I almost wonder if there's been some sort of mandate that went out that said, "Hey, we got to stop clowning Kanye."
Wow.
Because you don't think some of those sound bites were incredible, and by incredible I mean really bad.
You think the church got to the social media?
No, I'm saying I think that the rap community that supports Kanye said, hey, enough of this. Enough of this, making him look like a clown.
Wow.
The same way Dave Chappelle and all those people stepped in and made calls and all that stuff when he first was kind of losing it and talking about the Trump stuff. I honestly think that there could be some sort of group coming together and saying that's enough. Because those clips were definitely worthy to be on academics and Complex and all the people that always post them.
Yeah.
No one posted. I didn't see one Olstein Kanye thing.
Wow. That's
Collusion.
Collusion. I'm calling it. Now, what I did see was him in the studio with the legend Dr. Dre, sort of teasing Jesus is King Part 2.
Yeah.
What do we think?
I mean,
It's a good picture.
it's a great picture.
Great pick.
Dr. Dre is in no rush to put out music
At all.
at all.
Yep.
He's a bazillionaire. He's
Yep.
on his Kylie Jenner vibes.
Yep.
It's cool. It's great. I mean, it's another cosign for Kanye that he's doing something right because Dr. Dre is kind of like a king.
Yep.
Especially from LA. He's like God. And it's interesting that he's jumped on the train. I don't think they'll put out one song.
No.
No chance.
No.
I think Dr. Dre's such a perfectionist. He would never, if it's not the way he wants it done, he just like, I don't
Just a
want
good
But can you
photo.
imagine those two trying to actually put something out?
it. It would take 10
chance.
years.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It's fun press.
Good for the pick. So we're moving on.
I didn't know Dr. Dre was so religious.
Did you also see that his new thing? Yeah, I didn't either. His new thing is prison reform. So he's
Yeah.
jumping on board with Kim.
Who is?
Kanye.
Okay.
He's already on to the next thing.
Got it.
So not that he's giving up the Christian thing, but prison reform is his new talking point. And also he's calling his next show, which is at Hollywood Bowl, a musical, not Sunday service.
Wow.
And
Is it
has
going
a
to be on a Sunday?
Good question. Do you know? You know the date, don't you?
I don't know the date exactly.
You know, drama's rap Illuminati conspiracies kind of coming together
Thank you.
with this Dr. Dre pick.
Yeah,
If you
right.
think about OG rap guys who are still alive, who is it? Dre?
Cube.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the way that they support him, and we've heard people like Dave Chappelle and these people say, yo, that's off limits. You protect him for some reason. I think that's what's happening. I believe the next show is the 24th at Hollywood Bowl,
Sunday.
which is this Sunday.
Wow.
But it has a name. He's calling it a musical, and it has a full name.
Well, musical is more scalable.
I
than
think
Sunday
he's just
service.
charming one-on-one. So he has the crazy public persona, and he's just has to be really charming one-on-one for
Yeah.
everyone to just stand by him.
But we've heard from people that have had meetings with him. I mean, maybe if you're Dr. Dre.
Yeah, maybe for Dr. Dre.
Because we've heard people that have had meetings with him that were not charming.
Yeah.
that
No,
were
but I
super
think
out
if he
there.
perceives you as an OG, a legend,
Yeah.
he just treats you differently.
Yeah. I mean, I think he
And
knows what to
people are
say when
easy-
it matters.
Yeah, it's easy to win people over.
And still, when Kanye West walks in the room, it's Kanye West.
I also think it's something that the black community does better than any other community. Like we've heard the stories of Jamie Foxx getting called to Quincy Jones's house when he's partying too much and saying, "What are you doing? You're messing up." You know, and Oprah's
Yeah.
there.
I
You
think
hear all
that's a
these
new
things.
thing that's now come across the community because I think like the Jewish community has always done that extremely well, supporting each other.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the black community did it 20 years ago, but they're doing it today,
Yeah.
which is awesome because you have to have that community to overcome, all these different challenges that we all have in society.
But with that, so if you want to take the Jamie Foxx example, they said, you need to chill out. We can't have all this footage of you being this crazy party dude.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the same conversations are being had with Kanye, but he continues to display that publicly.
Yeah,
No,
but
but
I bet
it's-
they would also
but it's
like then,
positive
then
now.
go to the press and say, "Stop making him stop."
But it's positive. He's not doing anything negative now. You may not be into what he's doing, but there's nothing Kanye West is doing today.
He's still on the Trump stuff.
But if that's what you believe,
Yeah, but for his community that's actually kind of secretly defending him, none of them believe that. So how is this all being reconciled privately?
I
what
think it's this.
what I'm
I
trying
think
to
the
figure
community
out.
gets together in their secret meetings and they say Kanye really should relax, but he's probably not going to. Guys, we got to make sure we damage control this. He's going to go nuts. We got to make sure we keep this in line. The musical is called Nebuchadnezzar,
Oh, nice.
if I'm saying it right.
Yeah.
Am I saying it right?
Yeah.
Nebuchadnezzar.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what I think. That's my theory. So
Yeah.
there's my conspiracy
I like
theory
it.
for the day.
Okay.
How about some ads? Listen, guys, I'm sorry, but we asked if anyone would pay to listen to the podcast without ads. $15 isn't going to cut it. So
Yeah.
we got 3 yeses.
So fuck off.
So
You're
fuck
listening
off
to these
and
ads.
here's your ads. Okay, Next up, let's get into some technology and business news. Number one, we talked about this story about Google manipulating their search results and all this stuff. It was this huge story that came out. It seems like people are pretty heavily doubting the Wall Street Journal and like their facts and their basis for making these claims. Did they just make it up, you think? They want some clickbait?
So it's really interesting. So I got sent this article, and the article is written by someone on a website, I think, called Search Engine Land. So I'm clearly biased on the search engine community. Yeah. Google probably owns the damn website.
Imagine being a guy that's just that passionate about search.
So I read the article. The writer has a lot of valid points that he apparently spoke to the Wall Street Journal reporters, and he felt that they didn't have a clear understanding of the algorithm and how things work, or the inner workings. I think there's this like bias in today's mainstream press and mainstream readership or viewership, whatever you want to call it, that they think people at Facebook, Google are sitting there saying, you know what, we're going to get Trump elected. We're going to manipulate everyone to be racist. I don't believe that's what Facebook and Google are doing.
No.
Their platforms allow people to manipulate people.
Yeah. I think their own platforms got out from under them.
Exactly. I think they wish they could reel it back in, and they can't.
Yeah.
And the algorithm is just trying to move so fast that you can't catch up with it.
Yep.
The average person can't catch up with it.
No, and their algorithm is built to make more money. So when things are resonating, whether it's a negative news, misinformation, and it starts generating more clicks, it's going to get served more.
Yeah. But I don't think the intent, but that's fine. I think, though, that people generally think that people at Facebook are pushing a certain agenda.
No, that's they're pushing an agenda to make money.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
I think they're just complacent in now your plan has all these side effects.
Yeah.
And you're responsible.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
And I don't think that they're sitting there saying, what are we going to do about it? What are we going to do? I think they're kind of like, we should like address this.
Yeah.
We should make it look like we're doing something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I think they set up these algorithms, just like you said, to make money. So an algorithm, that's exactly what it's going to do at whatever cost.
Yeah. And I think that's really what's going on. And the reporter just kind of thought most of the article is incorrect. And a lot of the things that they're saying about the search engine and the algorithm are not true, which I understand. I understand what the point is. And I don't think the average person can even understand what's going on. And the real challenge is they don't actually have control of how people use their services. People use it for negative all day. And as long as they make money, they don't give a shit.
Yeah, negative information resonates more.
That's what
and
we were
I
just
think
saying.
it's just impossible to police that much information.
Yeah.
Like there's all these stories about the third party people that they have policing negative content on like Facebook, and they have like PTSD from watching people get murdered and killed all day.
China does it.
They police it?
Everything's policed. You can't get...
But isn't
You
it
can't
just,
say
isn't
anything about the
just kind of
Chinese
like a
government,
nothing
China.
rule?
Yeah.
Like, hey, just don't post anything?
Yeah, and I think they've scared their population also into like, you think you're going to get away with this if we find you?
Yeah, the guy who burned the Hardingers or the Chinese flag during the whole China, you got arrested.
He's gone. You're not playing games there.
Yeah, we play a lot of games.
Yeah, this is a circus.
Yeah. Okay. Well, listen, we'll keep following it as it goes. I think that, that is the big crossroads. There is wrong being done, but I don't know that it's like that's their intention. And I think that miscommunication is causing a lot of issues. Okay. Here's a big one. Burger King is getting sued, and they're getting sued for a reason that you two can probably very heavily relate to. You did bring this up, and you've had this problem before. And I'm wondering if any of you tried the Impossible Burger King burger, because they're getting sued by a vegan who found out that his Impossible burger was mixed with the animal fat.
So I just should have had a Whopper.
You what?
I should have just had a regular Whopper.
Did you eat a Burger King?
No, I haven't yet.
Oh, man, yeah. You
But
might as
it's,
well
not, it's not just Burger King. This is the fundamental problem. I had this conversation with a friend of mine who owns a Jersey Mike's. And when Jersey Mike's first opened across the street, I went there. And I went to order a sandwich, and I saw they were cutting the meat and the cheese in the same machine.
Yep.
And so I walked away and I was like, I don't want to deal with this. I think I told you about Yard House, where they deep fry everything the same thing.
Yeah.
The vegan stuff, the fries, everything. And obviously, when I was one of the only vegetarians at a restaurant complaining about this, no one gave a shit.
Yep.
Now this whole plant-based burger thing has swept the world. And now all these other, like, probably very, very strict vegetarians are hitting the public markets. And they're like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Like, I know, like, French fries are a very scary thing to eat because they're usually deep fried in the same.
You make
Deep
the
fry-
compromise, unfortunately, when you go out to eat. You're not in the kitchen. You don't know what's pans
I'm
being
just
used
happy
for
not
what.
to eat a cockroach.
I'm
And
just saying,
I'm just-
all are in Postmates, and we talked about we're probably eating pubes.
I mean,
Yeah.
we
Once a
should be
week.
more scared about Taylor's buddies throwing shit in the taco meat
Yep.
than maybe.
Well, there could be plant-based shit that they're putting in there too. That
Listen,
same
as long
guy
as
is
that's
shitting
not
in a
animal,
Beyond.
as long as there's not meat in that shit, we don't have a problem.
But yeah, I mean, but I'm telling you, all the restaurants are gonna have to deal with this now. They're gonna have to separate their grills and their deep fryers for vegetarian people.
Here's my question though: do you think that Burger King should be liable to like they? I don't know. I don't see them advertising it as like a vegan friendly meal. It's just a plant-based sandwich.
I
and-
think it just happened so fast, and I don't think they realized that part was that big of an issue.
But should you be able to be sued?
I think they're gonna have to write a check.
That's crazy.
Well, because the whole Impossible and Beyond movement isn't about for me and D.
Yeah.
It's for you and Pete.
Yeah.
How do we get you and Pete to choose to eat a non-meat based burger
Yep.
than a vegetarian or than a regular
Well,
burger?
I think
a
it's like
consequence of that is a bunch of vegetarians showed
Yeah,
up at Burger King
agree.
and got stuck eating a freaking Whopper.
But here's my
Yeah.
point too: is very few restaurants ask if you have any allergies before you go there. So what if you're allergic to something and it was in the thing you ordered? That's your bad. That's on you.
I mean, all nice restaurants do.
Not that common. They don't ask when you're ordering. Do you have
I
any
mean,
allergies?
in everywhere in my bubble, everyone asks.
What about you? You don't feel that way, do you?
What? Say that again.
Do most restaurants you go to ask if you have any allergies when you're
Really
ordering?
nice restaurants do.
Only really nice ones.
Not your average restaurant.
Who's eating at average restaurants?
Must be nice, D. D only eats at really nice restaurants.
I mean, everywhere I go, they go, do you guys have any food allergies? Is anyone gluten-free? Anyone vegetarian? Anyone allergic to
You
nuts?
go to like 4 restaurants.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, they
bubble.
ask
They
me
just
the
know
questions.
you. They just say D, right? No,
This is
no.
the guy that may sue us. Let's ask him all his
Yeah,
damn
exactly. This guy seems a little lawyer happy. But that's my point. Is like it's still your responsibility to say, hey, does this have peanuts in it? Hey,
Yeah.
does this have whatever?
Yeah,
It's just, that's why I don't.
Yeah,
think-
if you have a peanut allergy and death is the alternative, just ask.
Yeah. So my point is, if you don't ask and you go get served peanuts, you don't sue them.
You just die.
Yeah, you can't sue them, you're dead.
Keep your little EpiPen. I'm just saying. Do you see what I'm saying? They're not liable for not looking out for
Yeah, I'm
your.
sure there's some
Yeah.
terms and conditions under the menu that we're all agreeing to.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
I just want to
legality.
say separately, this guy shouldn't get any money. You know what? Deal with it, you frickin' vegan weirdo.
I want him to
Vegan
get
is too far, by the way.
5 million.
Reel it in. Vegetarian's fine. Vegan, too much.
5 million.
5 million?
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay. Well, if he gets 5 million, you should go out and start filing some lawsuits.
Yeah, I'm
you
suing
definitely
everybody.
ate some meat juices.
Yeah. 100%.
Go over to Jersey Mike's right now with
Order
a lawyer. Order a veggie
And
sandwich.
just start videotaping the whole process.
Okay. All right. Let's end with a good old-fashioned list. We love these type of lists, and we have a list of places where salaries are growing at a abnormal rate. What do we got? Where should we move?
Where you should move is Midland, Texas.
All right. I'll stay in LA.
2016 to 2018, salaries grew 28%. Insane.
What's the industry in Midland, Texas?
Gotta be oil. It
That's
is
a
oil.
lot. Okay. Where else?
Midland, Missouri.
No way.
Shale
Yes.
production, yeah.
Yeah. Odessa, Texas. Tyler, Texas.
Everyone's worried about tech. Just getting some shale.
Yeah. Forget about all these environmentally friendly cars and Tesla. Go get in the oil biz.
You know what's fascinating? What's happening is that, like secondary and tertiary cities across the country are now able to pay higher wages. And since younger people are valuing, there are groups of people, I think mainly families, more so than I would say single people, value quality of life, bigger homes, and just that in their kind of ability, that it now makes sense to move to a Scottsdale, a Texas, a Ohio, in different pockets, and like, because you hear, like, when you go to Nashville or you go to Scottsdale, you go to Austin, it's a lot of young people, a lot of young families. They're able to make damn near close to LA wages, have much lower expenses, and live this great, incredible life. Yeah, you don't have all the opportunity of an LA or a New York or a San Francisco. Maybe it's not a dynamic of a city, but you probably save money. You can travel, like, and I think it's just going to continue to happen because there's parts of LA, New York, and I mean, San Francisco and New York are completely unaffordable, and LA is on pace to end up like that.
Yeah, I had a conversation this week with a friend who is like 24 years old, runs an influencer management company, and is like, hey, you know, business is good. I think I'm going to buy a house in Michigan where I'm from, spend 6 months there, 6 months here. I want a family and a house.
Smart.
Yeah. And I was like, I guess, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't
Go
do
blue.
it.
Yeah, I want to do that.
But I guess, yeah, it could work.
Yeah, but if that's what you want, then you can't have that here.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. You can have like a decently successful business by LA standards and be crushing and have a beautiful life in Michigan.
Yes.
Good for him.
Yeah. It's a little cold for me. I'd pick a warm climate.
Well, he's probably doing the 6 months where the weather.
I'd go to like Jacksonville.
He's from there though.
Jacksonville?
No,
He's from Michigan.
I know, but Michigan's freezing.
I know, but you go in the
he's doing
summer.
6 months.
Which
You can't
6
pick.
months?
Would you say what, 6
I
months?
mean, if you have to need an
Anand.
answer to that question,
He might be a football guy and like wants to freeze his butt off in Ann Arbor.
And watch Michigan games?
Yeah.
Well, if he does, then I should have advised him differently. Okay, that's all we got. Do we have a newsletter still or no? Is freaking, what's his name?
Bowie.
Is Taylor back? Okay, so Taylor's
stupid
traveling
hat.
the world
I want to burn that hat.
with a stupid hat on. Did he just buy that hat just to fit in, or?
I think he bought the
No
hat
one
for
wears that in Paris. Like,
He
no
bought the
one-
hat for the content because his millennial audience probably has never been to Paris.
Got it. And he feels very.
And all these idiots are not going to go
Yeah,
there.
they're all gonna go buy. He's on LinkedIn with that goddamn hat.
Yeah.
Like,
And they're like, oh my gosh, we believe it. I mean, the whole trip is from a LinkedIn weird connection. That probably just got him another trip to London. Okay, so anyway, Taylor's still cranking out newsletters. So make sure you subscribe, group-chat.com. Hit us up. We posted another video today with a question from one of our listeners, Joe. Make sure if you want to check that out on our Instagram, but if you want to get featured on our Instagram feed, send us a video of you asking us any question, make a little selfie video, and email it to groupchatquestions@gmail.com, and we will answer it here on video. It'll be just like you're on the podcast, and we'll give you the best advice that the three of us can muster up about whatever your question is. Joe asked about a Kickstarter. I feel like we gave pretty solid advice.
Yes.
So make sure you send us your videos, and I mean, I don't know if you don't follow us on Instagram by now at Group Chat Pod, but clearly you should just delete this from your podcast.
Yeah, there's no point.
do us a favor.
You don't care about us.
Yeah.
And thank you to our friend Neil over at Complex. He has. We all got Lakers hats. I forgot to wear mine.
Yeah.
Of course, Anand's is too big.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it does look too big.
and we had the Murakami Complex Con.
I don't know how you guys
exclusive.
want me to wear my hat.
I had a phone call today.
Just maybe a one.
Maybe
2 snaps tighter.
a little tighter and bend the brim.
There's too much air in here.
Yeah.
it feels comfortable.
Okay. Well,
I'm
not
Bobby
getting
from
bullied.
Bobby's World.
yeah, you grew up listening to hip hop, man. You still can't get away from the loose new
Fabulous.
Stop bullying me. I'm going to quit
TI
my
over
job.
here.
What is it? 50% of millennials quit their job because of mental.
Head shaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, hat size shaming. All right, man. We'll see you later. I didn't quit. No, weren't you gonna be trans? Didn't we decide that?
Transgender.
We decided we needed more women on the podcast.
Yeah.
So either way, both are very 2019. Either transition or quit. It's up to you.
And I'll be in New York. So if you're in New York and you see me, I'm
He's
gonna be
in New
hitting a
York
lot
today.
of
Throw a
spots.
piece of cheese at his face.
Please
yeah,
don't.
do the TikTok, throw cheese at his face. If
Yeah.
anyone gets a TikTok throwing cheese
Please
at
don't.
Dee's face,
We'll invite you on the podcast.
we will invite you on the pod. You're there today?
I'm there today all day, and then in the evening at the Puma store on Fifth Avenue, and then hanging out.
There it is. Guys, thank you so much. I hope you learned a little bit today. I hope everyone makes a little bit healthier choice. More water first, veggies most,
Oh, I like that.
beer over Juul, and unsweetened almond milk.
Great.
Have a good one.